Hello all, this tutorial is going to cover chalk pastel and how to model three-dimensional form with it, as well as blend with the material and layer with it. So we're going to create a layout of a column. I'm going to use the left-hand side of my paper here, and I'm going to put 4 squares high with my column. And to the right of it, I'm going to take something circular that's about 4 inches wide, or I can just free draw a circle. I'm using the cover of a container here. You're going to now set up your layout just like I did, so we can move on to the next step. Step 1 involves applying some values. We're going to go from dark to light of a color, or intense to less intense. I'm picking the color blue. Pick any color you'd like except for the color yellow, and also use white for this. So for the bottom square, I'm going to put a vigorous amount of blue here. For this second to bottom, I'm going to put a lighter coat of blue, and I'm going to add some white to that to create a lighter blue. For the third one, I'm going to go straight with white and add some blue to it. And for the last one, I'm just going to use white, and you'll see what I do to make it a light blue. I'm going to blend this bottom one, blend the second one, blend the third one. You're going to notice on my finger I have some blue left over. I'm going to use just my finger to blend into that white I already put to get a light blue. So now we're going to practice modeling 3D form by creating all those values here. We're going to create something called a sphere, or a 3D form of a circle. Some of you guys will call that a ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to apply the color that I used to the left in the value range, the blue. I'm going to make a little sun. That's going to indicate our light source on our sphere. So away from the sun, I'm going to start to loosely and expressively add my blue and just get more towards where the highlight would be with a little less stroke. So I'm going to push the blue a little harder where it's further away. Now I'm going to grab some white and I'm going to layer it in closest to where the light is brightest, and then work it down into the blue, not quite covering down towards the more intense blues on the other side of the sphere. At this point, I'm going to just wipe my finger down. Sometimes I need to just wash my hands to kind of and dry them out. Definitely dry fingers is important. Now we're going to try some soft blends. If I take my finger and lightly and loosely blend in the circular motion here, I'm going to start to blend the values together. If I want to preserve a lighter area, I don't push too hard with the blending there. Now, if I put a second layer of white over where I originally put it, and a second layer of a little bit of blue towards the outer edge, this second layer, as I blend lightly, you'll see it's going to cover, and you're going to see less of those scratchy lines you saw in the beginning. As I go into the lighter areas, I definitely don't try to vigorously blend. I just dab a little bit with my finger to preserve the lighter values. This is a cast shadow if you'd like to add this. I'm just going to add some blue here. I'm going to fill that in. It's going to make it feel like the ball is casting a shadow. Now, to enhance some values in color, I'm going to think, well, what if I wanted to go darker than just that intense blue? So we're going to come up with our fifth value here. I'm going to call that the dark value. So we're going to go to step 5. And I'm going to lay down a coat of my blue as I did in step 4. But I'm going to take an opposite color of blue. Blue is a cool color. An opposite color of blue would be an orange. That's a warm color. If I just lay some in there and blend, you're going to see how dark that blue gets. Here's some color mixing tips for you. If you look at the color wheel, if you're using a cool color, add a warm color to darken it. If you have a warm color, add a cool color to darken it. You'll get fantastic darks. You don't always need to use black to darken a color. It just does not work. So I'm putting a little bit of orange right where it should be darker, and I'm blending it into the blue to achieve some really strong darks. And this is what you need to do. Practice blending, practice trying to develop form, and get comfortable with how hard you really need to push to get the pastels to work for you, because it's not hard to do. It just takes a little bit of time and patience. Good luck.